So, what's going on in the shop? Yep, this isn't a Ford. It's a Plymouth Fury Sport. It's my brother's. It's a pretty nice car. 383, 4-barrel. Not sure what that's from. That might have been from the other car sitting here. Not sure. I have to check that out. It does have a valve cover leak. We're going to fix the valve cover gaskets and put the right bolts in it. It looks like the valve covers that came with the car, when the guy installed it, they put the valve cover bolts in, and they're a little long, and they don't seem to snug down the valve covers, which allows the gaskets to leak. So we're going to have to change those out. If I can cut them down, and I got to take like 1/4 of an inch off them, and then they should be fine. They should draw up tight. We'll see. If not, we'll replace them. So this car is going to get a Elderbrock intake and a Elderbrock carburetor. Got to take a look at the brakes. It's got all new brake lines, master cylinder. It's just got a hard pedal. It doesn't seem to want to stop. When I was under the dash looking at the brake light switch that periodically sticks on, I did notice there's a lot of travel in the brake pedal, which leads me to think maybe, when you push that pedal all the way down, that's as far as it goes. I think I'm going to take a look at the rod on it for the throw on the rod. It seems like it may be reaching the end of the pedal before it reaches the end of the master cylinder. If you understand what I'm saying, the rod does not push far enough to give the full braking power of the car. I have seen this before when they do a disc brake conversion, and they don't get the rod quite long enough. Now, I could be wrong, but it kind of feels that way. The other thing I noticed is it's got a bias valve or metering valve for the rear brakes, and I noticed that it was turned pretty heavy to the rear, and I'm not sure why that, because you really want a lot of your stoppability is in your front axle, up and along with the rear, but you got to find that right balance. I'm not sure if anybody would play that and try to get the right balance. There's two problems with that. So we're going to get tomorrow we're going to get the intake off, drain the radiator, get the intake off. We're also putting a ready to run distributor in it, switching over electronic ignition, and hopefully that cures the flooding carburetor. Probably going to have to put some plugs in it. It's been flooding for a while off and on, and it just doesn't seem right. So, but I'm not a Chrysler. I'm not a guy that works on Chryslers all the time. Matter of fact, I don't work on them at all. So this is going to be all new to me. I want to check the plug wires, make sure nothing's rusting anywhere and burnt. It is a power steering car. Looks like it's got a new alternator on it. So this would be the first one I've ever worked. I've never worked on a 383 before. So a couple 318s, a Cummins, of course, in my dog's pickup, and the old 5.9 360s. I've worked on those, but nothing this old. This car is pretty clean. It was painted. They did a pretty good job on it. He's planning on getting it painted again eventually. It's kind of going with the black rim look. I kind of like it. The car's pretty nice interior. So that's what we're doing on that. So Volkswagen Bug in the air. Rotors. New rotors, brake pads. Of course, this has a wear sensor in it. Had to struggle a little bit to get the right rotors. There's a 11 3/8 and 11, and I had the 11 3/8, which is a bigger braking system on it because it has the I think it's 2.5 fuel injected. Trying to stay ahead on the cleaning, not working so well, but we're staying ahead a little bit on it. Let's go back in here. Got the Fairlane inside. This is a driver car. It is never going to be a show car. It's got some rust here in the bottom of the door here, just starting right here, a couple bubbles, you know. Of course, this is a 1967, and the roof is bad. So what I've been doing is, I was unable to find a skin for this at all. And this has got a vinyl top on it, and I'm going to put a vinyl top back on it. But I'm cutting the pieces out and refabbing them. But the roof isn't terrible, but it needs some work. So drivetrain wise, this was in pretty good shape. And I noticed over the winter that the rear main seal has started seeping on this. So hopefully I get running it, maybe it'll pick itself up and stop again, or we'll end up pulling transmission, doing a rear main seal on it. So hopefully not. It says 289 on the badge, but the 289 for this is sitting in the trailer. It had a cracked head and ultimately fired bad head gasket and a crack all on the number 1 cylinder. And it fired across to the other cylinder, and it cut a little bit of groove into the block. So I'm not sure that's even worth fixing or can be fixed. I know it's not that critical. I have two other 289s, so I mean, it could make a good parts motor, but it'll never go back in this car as long as I own it. So we're gonna stay with the 351 in this car. So on the rat rod, I think I shot a video the other day, but I'm working on the battery base. I got a lot of exhaust pipes. Trying to figure out the best angle to get the exhaust down in front of the cab. I still got to get down and get my other cab. Get the front cut out of the other one, so I haven't really done a lot on this one, other than I mounted the air tank. I'm going to put the air compressor on its side. I haven't read to see if I can do that yet, if anybody knows if you can do that or not, because it stands just a hair tall. And the only alternative is leaving it upright and cutting a little box out and dropping it down, because it's going to hit on my wood on my floor, my bed, if I don't. So repositioned. I don't know if I talked about that or not. I had to reposition the mount for the triangular 4-link on this, because when I originally put it in, I did the math, measured and measured and measured and measured, and I was somehow I got 3/4 of an inch out of square, and the only way to get it back was to move the mount, because when I put the mount on the rear end, I had it 3/4 of an inch too far forward, rolled this way too far compared to the other one. So now against the axle tube, right against my frame, I'm 26 inches both sides, and from axle to frame to axle to frame, forget the measurement, but it's right on the money. So I'm square, and I'm good on all my points. Turns out on my transmission mount, I'm not going to have to take it out. My exhaust will fit underneath it nicely, and then I'll have the mufflers, pipes, mufflers, come back, and then right in front of the battery on both sides, that's where this last mount is, the truck, the last mount on the truck. And then, of course, the frame on the box comes down. So I have to figure out where I'm going to exit this exhaust. I may put them both out one side, and I may not. I'm in a little bit of predicament because I went and put my battery box in there without remembering I wanted to exit my exhaust on that side, and it is taking up all the room. So I'm a little perplexed on where I should go with my exhaust. I might do all swept side out the driver's side, but that in itself creates other problems. So yeah, I got a couple issues I got to work on. So okay, I'll bring you back when I got some other stuff. I'm running the dump truck quite a bit. When I'm not, Jordan is. Jordan's been running it more than I have. We've been hauling a lot of gravel and sand. We just started hauling topsoil yesterday. So that's been keeping us busy. And work hasn't given me much time to be in the garage. So today I'm going to try to catch some of this stuff up. And tomorrow. Okay. I'll bring you back when I got some more. Wow, am I shaky today?